All right. Let's switch gears. Let's do a hard reset here, guys. This is Compete and Collect. Steve has no idea what he's doing. I had to send him a deck so he could play. I want to know what questions you have because you're new. A lot of our listeners are new. And let's hear it. What kind of questions do you have at the moment?
All right, so I have the basics. Look, I understand the basics of it. Right? I have at least that. And again, it's going to sound so new. I know that. Like have my deck, I pull a card. Like because we're actually on the video, it actually makes it almost easier because there's no like indicators of like there's no like indicator how what my card might be or how it is. I say I'll say like aura, and you'll say, skill, and then I'll say, okay, let's do this thing, and then skill, and then winner get points, right?
All right. I'm going to mute this for a second.
Yep.
We get ready.
And then whoever has more skill is the winner, and you get sort of points, and you basically need to collect certain amount of points. I think you remember this whole thing. And so I remember this. And so I understand that aspect of it. Before we even dive in, though, I have a big deck of cards, and I want you to tell me what's worthwhile in here that isn't just because I like.
How's it going?
Hey, good man. What's going on?
Good.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. I just got everything up here for the stream. I got it. Are you cool if you live stream as well?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and mute this. Let them hear us. Cool. So I've been doing like the Gary Vee thing where I'm going live while the whole process is going on, and then I'll actually edit the podcast on live and then release it pretty much same day. So I just kind of been taking everybody through the whole entire journey process.
Awesome. That's so cool.
The amount of time and effort that it takes to put out every single one. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I love everything that you've been doing. I love watching the podcast.
I appreciate that, man. So Matt, you caught my eye because you were posting on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, and your collection is just incredible. I was looking at it, and I'm like, dang, this guy has been like an assassin out there, just going for it. I'm curious, like, have you always been that collector guy? Have you always been into cards, or is that something new?
So I remember the first time I ever remember cards. I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I had shoe boxes of Pokemon and sports cards, baseball cards that got handed down to me, and I'd always played with them when I was young, around that age, but then from maybe 10 all the way up until I graduated college, I'd never really been into cards or collectibles. But then once I had graduated college, I was always following Gary on social media, and he had been talking about cards, and I was like, yeah, I had cards, and I loved that when I was 7, 8 years old, and then I had finally gotten out of college and my first job, so I was finally starting to make some money so where I could maybe start investing, and then that's when I got started back into cards, is right around 2020, kind of in that boom, which wasn't the best thing, but it still had a great time collecting and getting back into things around that time, and then that led me to the NFT space through Gary and all that. But it's kind of funny because I had started collecting cards in 2020, and then that's somewhat of the reason why I had missed out on Veefriends Mint, is because I had money tied up in sports cards at the time, and then I was like 0.2 ETH short from Veefriends 1 Mint, and I was too stubborn to ask my dad or ask any family members for a couple $100 for some NFT project that, you know, they would not really believe in. Or I mean, I believed in it full heartedly, but
yeah, for sure.
there's just something hard to kind of ask someone for money for what they would think is silly.
If you're any fan of G's content, he always says, you know, don't be pissed whenever somebody tells you what to do with yourself whenever you're asking them for something. So if you're asking them for things, you're sort of you're bartering your independence a little bit, and sometimes that doesn't feel great, especially whenever you're so damn close, and it's like, man, I got this far. Come on. But tell me a little bit about 2020 and how crazy the collecting game got. Because if anybody doesn't know, 2020 was nutty as far as the card game goes, and we're talking like Bitcoin at 65K nutty. Right? Can you tell me through getting back into cards at the peak? What was that? How did the scene look?
Yeah, it was just absolutely nuts. Like, I remember, like, a Justin Herbert was the chase at the time. It was Justin Herbert and not Justin Fields, but Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert were the two big guys in 2020. And I was just out of college, and getting back into that space was crazy. I remember Gary posting about the Luca cards at $5, and I was late on that because that was right around as I was graduating college, so I was still not financially able to get in at that point. But coming into it was like I got back in November-ish of 2020, and it was just absolutely nuts. Like, breaks were going crazy, like everything was just astronomical, and it was crazy because I had gotten a decent amount of cards from 2020 Optic set, and I was like, it was right when PSA was about to shut down. I had all these cards, and I was like, just getting back into it, and everyone was like, send your cards out now before PSA shuts down. And I was pretty new, and I hesitated, and I waited. I was like, no, like, they'll shut down for 3 weeks, and then they'll be back open. And no, they were shut down for 6 months, and it was like, I totally regretted that.
Did you ever look at some of the other grading platforms, or were they all shut down too? Because I didn't get back into cards. Shit, I didn't even get into cards until after VCon last year. Like we opened boxes, and I didn't even get really into them until I didn't even go to card night at VCon.
Gotcha.
So whenever you're talking about 2020, that's why I'm asking, because I wasn't boots on the ground. You were. Were all of the grading platforms down completely?
So PSA had like over 60 million cards that they had backlogged. Like, they had been taking in cards for 6 months, and they had just been sitting, not even in the system. And so they had to shut down. Beckett was still open, but it was just like PSA is the holy grail of grading, and with the like it's kind of similar with CGC and BGS. I love that there's, like, with BGS you have the black label 10, and then you have a pristine 10, and then you have a regular 10. So there's more differences and more intricacies between the grades, which is nice for, like, I have some cards that I'm going to the Philly card show this weekend, and I have some cards that I'm specifically going to send in to BGS because of the fact that they do the subgrades. It'll tell you the centering. So it's all preference, but PSA is just the number one. And so back in 2020, everybody, it was all PSA, unless you have a card that you know isn't going to 10 in PSA, because back in 2020 and even before, PSA rates for a PSA 10 were much higher than they are now. Like, my first submission from PSA for sports cards was maybe a little bit over a year ago, and I got like a 53% PSA 10 rate. But and I told someone that had been in the card game for much longer than that, and they're like, "Oh, that's good for nowadays." But he was like, 2-3 years ago, that would be 76% PSA 10s. So PSA has gotten a lot harder grading, and that's why the PSA 10 still is a much higher value, I think. But even back then, back before 2020, back before the craze, it was a little bit easier to get PSA 10s, but even still, it's
got it. And everybody's chasing the tens, and that's awesome. You could even look at pricing. I do a market kind of like a little market report on some of the Veefriends cards where I launched the actual podcast. And I'll do it the day of, right before I launch them, and like it's funny how the PSA 10s will go for I'd say like anywhere between 30 to 40% higher than even 9.5. And if it's a good character, you can even bump that up to maybe even a 50% bump on that price of the card. It's kind of interesting to look through those. And I've never looked at BGS because nobody is really in the Veefriends community. Nobody goes to BGS to grade these cards. Everybody's going to CGC for the most part. I mean, you definitely see CGA mixed in there.
Yep.
I think you included in that mix. But yeah, you definitely get a premium whenever you're grading cards. However, I am like I don't know. I feel like the Veefriends cards. I like. I'm of the school of Poker Pros where I like just these raw cards. I definitely have the graded cards, and I have the Courtyard.io account, and I have them digitally. There's just something about just being able to grab your cards and just have them play with them.
Yeah. And that's like I love Courtyard, and I love that aspect and what they're doing. But that's one thing that I also maybe is on the con side for me is not being able to hold those cards, even though they're at Courtyard. It's just like I like being able to hold them, even if they're in a slab, or just raw. Like I love raw cards. And
yeah. So if you could build your ideal, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If you could build your ideal grading agency on these 3 categories, so you can pick PSA, you can pick BGS, whoever you want to. So customer service.
Customer service. I haven't. So I've dealt with PSA, and I've dealt with a little bit of CGC so far. I haven't submitted personally to SGC, but I have heard SGC customer service is extremely like top notch. And I do know that PSA just bought out SGC, which I think is kind of a smart play on PSA's part. And I think that's the reason PSA or the holding company of PSA bought SGC. And I think that's the reason is because SGC is so well known for their customer service that they're going to try and intricate that into.
I like it. How about the card show vibes?
Card show vibes. Like as far as a grading company.
Mm-hmm.
I like. So like at the national, like I like them all, honestly. Like they're all so different, especially at card shows. Like I mean, you have PSA and BGS for like they're so large, and
yeah,
it's just kind of just so standardized at this point that it's awesome. But then you have like CGC where you can actually like you go up and actually have a conversation. It's more of a community for CGC, so I like that aspect, especially coming from like the Veefriend side. It is a lot about the community, and I'm all for the community. So I like that aspect.
Definitely. And then the actual grades themselves.
So I'm going to say PSA for right now, but that could change because I have CGC coming back with 95 cards.
All right.
That's so 95 for grading. So we'll see if CGC treats me right, then it could change.
Yeah. Are you going to go and do like a big reveal on a show, or what are you doing?
I'm thinking maybe it's still like they're still they had just gotten they're submitted for grading, so they're not even grading yet. So it's probably going to be another
couple weeks.
It's still got a little bit of ways, which is why right now for the time being, I do prefer PSA just because of the fact of how quick they were. Like I did a special sports card and I sent it in and they received it on February 2nd and it was a bulk order and they shipped it out on February 18th. So it was 16 days.
That's pretty. That's really good.
Yeah.
So
and I did just send 20 foils into PSA as well. So we'll see, and they should be getting there today. So we'll see how long the turnaround is on that.
Okay. Nice. Now, as far as the compete and collect game goes, it's a more strategy-based tabletop card game. And you said you were into Pokemon cards whenever you were younger. Did you actually play the game, or did you just a collector? And then the other piece of that ask is were you more into games at all? Like, did you play games as a kid as far as strategy games, tabletop games?
Yeah. My family was big on board games when I was younger. There's whenever we had family gatherings, like I had a good amount of cousins, so we'd all play board games. But as far as Pokemon, I remember collecting, like looking at the cards, and I might have played a couple times and figured out, like, I have a couple memories of trying to figure out like my own. Like I never played by the rules of Pokemon when I was that young. I remember playing with a friend and we're like, oh, this means that. And so we like made up our own game as it goes, which was very cool. But then as far as like card game or TCG strategy play, nothing really ever since until CNC, which is really awesome. I'm super glad that I got back into it because it is such a fun game to play. And I played the other night with Nath after I lost in Courage's tournament, and he whooped my ass and
dude,
5 in a row.
Your match was a heartbreaker, bro.
Oh my god! I'm pretty sure I played well after playing the first match and then realizing everybody else deferred. I realized I should have deferred at the first, and then I think I might have played the Black Cat the wrong way. If I had accepted and not sent it to total, I might have won or tied. So,
yeah, building up that tie bank, and then he TTT'd you for the dub. You were just like in disbelief when it happened. You're like, wait a minute, I was just smoking you, dude.
Yeah, literally. It was crazy.
It was an absolute smoke show, and then like all of a sudden it wasn't. Immediately. It's just like
Courage called it too. He was like, I've seen it. He's like, I've seen a comeback.
Yeah.
From behind the list.
I was opposing you during the match because I'm like, dude, he came out hot. And usually when you come out hot, use your TTT, like all of those things in like the first 5 or 6 cards. You usually don't win. And it's like really hard to continue that momentum because there's only like I'd say 60% of your deck is shit. You know, it's those like incremental. The TTT is a big one. Like as soon as you use your TTT, boy, is it tough.
Yeah.
You
have to use your TTT in the first 7 cards. It's really rough.
Well, and that's the thing that people get caught up in, and this is what I've gotten caught up in before I changed my deck was when your TTT card comes up, you're sort of like in the early game, you're like, shit. What do I do? I call it, or do I try to play this out the total? You know, I have since changed my strategy. I went with more rares now. I'm going with one very rare, and I think it's like six. Yes, six rares. Six rares and very rare. And I just feel like it's a strong enough deck. I'm in the middle of two other cards at the moment, but I don't know that they just want so much for them, and I'm playing with them. So they're in graded slabs, and I'm like, I'm just gonna crack them open. You know, like your grade means nothing. I want somebody that gets like an absolute shit grade on. Here's what I want. I want a rare panda. I want a rare gorilla. A rare devil, and a moth, and an admiral. Those are like the five rares that are on my list. And I just think that rares are definitely more the way to go. You get more of them, more opportunity to call the TTT at some point, and
it's a more level.
Yeah. And then like the very rare 65 very rare will beat all your top tier cards. So like you can get a very rare for pretty cheap at the score of 65 and beat every card in the rare form. So like I'm interested in that. I've been playing around with that as well. So I got my rare skilled skeleton is my very rare. You see there. You see that?
I can't. But yeah, there it goes.
Yeah. So I got that very rare right there. And then I play with, because this is all that I have, is the Bottle Burglar rare, Elephant rare, Alien rare. I say only. This is a pretty banging deck. Phoenix rare, Electric Eel, and then the Harpic rare.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas. I sold a Viking rare to New Bitcoin Info, and then as soon as I sold it, I was like, oh, I really want that for my deck.
Yeah. It's a good one.
But yeah, on the Courage show, I played with. I just pulled the Epic Wizard, and I also had a very rare Ghost, but I switched that out because, like you were saying, I was just kind of, and I had known going in. You can either go more quantity of rares and then skip out on the Epic or something like that, and then it's just more even keel as far as your rares go versus a core. And then I sent off a very rare eel to PSA, which I'm not regretting. But if it gets a 10, I'll keep it in the slab. But if it gets a 9, I'm just gonna crack it out. And put it back in the deck. But if it's 10,
that's how I got mine. I went on the Courage show and I broke the sucker out of its case.
Nice.
It was in a PSA 7 slab, and I just cracked it open.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really care if I mark it up. I don't want to, but I don't really care if I did.
Yeah. No, sure. It's definitely something that's going to happen a lot, and it does happen a lot in sports cards too, is cracking slabs, resubmitting them to a different company, or even just keeping them raw for yourself. It's definitely a play, I think, in my eyes, because like even like a CJ Stroud for sports cards, if you get a PSA 8, that'll sell for less money than a raw will. So even though maybe it's not the right thing to do, but or like maybe a grader has a bad day and gives it an 8 when it's really not an 8 card, or maybe it is, and in PSA's eyes, and you crack it out and submit it to BGS, and maybe it gets a 9.5, then you're back up over what it sells for a raw. So it really is crazy the values of different companies and grading has, and as well as you can crack out a slab from PSA as a PSA 8, and then the card will go up in value, which is wild.
Wait, say that again. What are you talking about?
So like if there's a PSA, the other day I went to a card show, and if you have a PSA 8 CJ Stroud card, it will sell for less than a raw CJ Stroud of that same card, because in sports cards, people value PSA 8s less than what a raw card sells for, even though someone had to go through the process and spend the money of $15 to get it graded.
I'm mad about that. I'm mad about that. Community. What the hell was that about?
It's wild.
That's not cool. That's not cool at all. I don't like it. So like my 7 is like I basically should pay the person. I should pay other people just so I have that card. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, man. You ready to play? You want to play?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let me call into this. I'd like to have the card cam on for the people out here. So give me 1 second. I will get this thing rocking and rolling. So what's the Grail card that you have right now inside of your CNC collection? What are your maybe your top three cards?
So right now, probably I have a raw gift goat.
Yes.
That is definitely Grail. So I have that in the playing deck, and I have this playing deck that I picked up in a lot, and I'm gonna play with it today. And I'm not sure, but I might piece it out and sell some of it. So if you're interested, you definitely work something out. But
what was that?
I might piece out some of the cards after I play today.
Yeah.
And maybe rebuild the deck. So
Yep.
just because I'm doing cards full time now for about a month, so I just got to keep inventory moving. That way I can be able to continue doing this. But back to the Grails. One I picked up in a lot. This is an absolute Grail. Is
that's beautiful.
the 9.5 gold label rare heart trooper, which makes it a CGC 10. If we were to resub it, and it doesn't say it on the back, but it's a Gary Vaynerchuk owned, and it's from the Gary Vaynerchuk original collection. So it's not like an actual. I mean, it is a go, but it's part of the absolute first submission.
Right.
Some people don't value that, but I think with the Heart Trooper and with it being now a CGC 10, it's the only CGC 10.
Okay.
So that's a huge card. I really like that one. And then I love the Common Sense Cow.
So yeah. The series 1. That's a good one.
And then that's probably the other Grail would be the other gift goat that got graded. And then probably the craziest story would be this bad boy.
Out of way.
Which is wild. I had 3 of these.
Okay.
So Dalton and I were at the National, and we were going hard that first day, trading people right out of the VIP line. Dalton picked up 5 of them, and he submitted all of his to PSA right then. And then I held on to mine, and I traded one of them for the cow, the blue collar crypto, and then the other one I sold to Chad at the National, and I kept one. So I sold 2 and kept 1, and I held on to this for 8 months, and then submitted it to CGC, and then it gets a pristine 10. So it's like that's probably the craziest story as far as like, I mean, I can't believe I held on to it for 8 months and didn't submit it right away, and it still got a pristine, which is pretty wild.
Are you excited about stickers?
I think they're a cool collectible.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I think they're a cool collectible. I think.
Do you think they're more memorabilia than card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
think.
what I'm.
And I like the play of. I like the play of them being stickers. Although, and Gary talks about like people sticking them onto things, and there's you see a couple on some computers and stuff, but there's so many people that are holding on to them. And then you also have the fact that the national ones, they're blank on the back.
Mhm.
A lot of people from the national have no clue. Like when I was at a sports card show on Saturday, there's a guy who was like, "Oh yeah, I got a VIP bag that I might have one of those in my bag." He's like, "I just didn't know what they were, so I just kind of tossed them to the side." So I think there's a lot of like, deflationary aspect to the stickers. And I like the fact that at the national they did like trade in a sticker. Like you could trade in a sticker for Plinko drop, and you could basically exchange it for a CNC card. And that was at the national. So that was kind of like a cool aspect. Like you could trade one in. If you would rather have a CNC card, you could trade this into their at the Veefriends booth and get a card and trade in your sticker. So I think there's cool things that are going to happen with them. And I think Gary's a collector at heart, and seeing Gary's personal collection, like he had Ninja Turtle stickers from the 90s and the 89, like from 89 in the 90s that were in his personal collection. And so I think because the stickers are so true to his heart and he loves them so much, I think he's always gonna kind of do something cool with them and continue to incorporate them.
I think you're right. But I do think that they just end up becoming more of a memorabilia collectible than any part of the ecosystem. It's just it's a cool fun to have. It's like I don't want to akin it to like a menu somewhere, but like a collectible piece of just collateral. I don't really know what more to say about it. Cool. So cool. All right. You ready? You shuffled up?
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. So I have my trusty courage coin from the.
I have one as well.
Yeah, I have the Courage's Compete Collect New York City Comic Con October 23, and the Carson's Caramel for Tails. So once Currie gets back here, he just jumped ship on me. He went to go get his coin.
Got my coin. So
nice. I ended up snagging two of them. Sorry, Josh. I took advantage of you. All right, heads or tails?
Heads.
It's heads. It landed. It's heads. We'll just call it. I feel like my wife was there for a second. She can't catch things. What do you want to do? Do you want to attack or defend?
I'll defend. I learned that from the last time.
All right, sounds good. All right, I'll do one cut here. I always forget to do that.
Get the cards out of the table.
You don't have to come on camera with that. You're all good. I just for the show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is what I record this and then I put this part up on YouTube for the tutorial stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I attack Aura.
Let's go stamina.
Decline. Skill.
I'll accept.
25. All right. 3 in the tie bank on skill. My attack. I attack skill.
Let's go stamina.
Decline. Aura.
Let's go total.
I beat the
He beat the goat. Beat the goat.
Oh. All right. Thanks to me. Plus, I got one of each. And you win the attack.
Let's go skill.
Accept. 25. So one to the side bank.
Let's go stamina.
Decline skill.
Decline aura.
We'll go total. 91.
88. Nice.
Got it. 3 plus 5 bank. Come on, guys. There it is.
What's the score?
I have 262.
262.
Go skill.
Let's go stamina.
Decline TTT.
Oh. Very nice.
Nice.
Game.
Nice
Win there.
That's
Very
what
nice win there. Quick and easy.
Well, we built up that skill, so I was like, let me just keep going after it. See what
happens. Absolutely.
And then that's that second card. I was like, I can't keep. We can't build skill to a point of no return here. So I started with skill, and then we went to aura. So there was 3 aura in there. I'm like, holy crap! Well, it was 2 aura. All right. Final cut. And then you can go ahead and call it again.
Heads.
It's tails this time. I will defend this time. So
Sweet. Let's go skill.
Accept. 24. I attack skill.
Let's go stamina.
Decline aura.
Let's go total.
90.
88.
Nice.
Very nice.
1. All right. Your attack. I lucked out there big time.
Let's go stamina.
Decline aura.
I'll accept.
25. Nice.
Nice there.
2 into there. You keep the attack.
Let's go skill.
Accept. 25.
3.
Oh.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd go the other way with that.
Oh no. All right. I attack skill.
Let's go aura.
Decline stamina.
I'll accept.
24.
24.
So 3 stamina. I keep the attack. I'll call TTT. 91.
89.
Oh, I got him. Thank goodness. All right, so it's 4, 3, 5. You have 0, 1, 0.
All right.
Your attack.
Let's go stamina.
Decline skill.
I'll accept.
2025.
2024.
No. Attack aura.
I'll accept.
25.
2024.
Oh, and then my T is used. Okay. Your attack.
Let's go. Skip.
Accept.
25.
25. Heart Trooper V. Harpic.
Oh, is it
Your attack. Sorry.
Let's go skill.
Accept. 25. Ooh, look at that. Admiral. I love that card. That's like one of my favorite cards, the Admiral.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it is a very, very nice card.
All right, here.
Let's go stamina.
Decline skill.
I think I have to go TTT here. So 84.
98.
Got
it.
Nice.
Man.
GG's.
Clinton came up at the right time, bro.
Yeah.
Woo!
What did you have? What's the aura on that?
Aura's 20.
Gotcha.
Aura's 20 on that one. What you had the methodical mammoth, yeah.
Yeah, I had a 21 on aura on that one.
Oh yeah, you would have got me.
Yeah. Would you have accepted, or you would have probably pushed to total?
Yeah, I was going total on that all day. If you didn't accept skill, obviously. But cool man. Yo, Matt Currie, thank you.
That was awesome.
Are you gonna be at the National in Cleveland?
Yes, I'm gonna most likely. I'm gonna make it to the National this year.
Okay. I snagged my
VCon. What's that?
I snagged my VIP tickets this year.
Nice.
I wasn't around.
Yeah. No, for sure. The VIP is definitely worth it. You get in early. You get the VIP bag, which I mean, I know that the first sold on eBay for a super sticker is like someone got it from the bag and they posted on eBay. First one sold went for 170, which is crazy. Like the hype was just unreal that day.
Yeah.
And
I was doing what you guys were doing, but on day two. You guys already cleaned me out. So I was getting like tier 3 stickers because everything tier 1 was gone. Nobody had them.
But the thing is, what I didn't do, and not a lot of other people did either, is if you went up on Saturday or the last day, you would have gotten the honey badger, the eagle, or the other. There's 3 of them that are like out of 499 that on eBay go for like 400 or 500 that no one got because they only came out on the last day and you had to like go up to the booth and ask them for it. And so that was, I think, just to kind of touch on them, I think the stickers are like, it'll be easier to collect all of them as far as like a collector's standpoint.
Yes. In like 2 years.
Exactly like you said, they're just collateral. Like it's literally like a nice thing to look at and have. And
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, I got a bunch. I have like a bunch of the Halloween stickers, and I sold all of my super stickers. Those are all gone from the national. I sold all of those just to get more CNC cards. Really, is what it was for.
Yeah,
because I don't necessarily love the collectible. Like I don't care about having all of them. I wanted the whole set. Like I definitely have the whole set. That had to get that.
Yeah.
As far as like as an investment goes, I'm not doing it.
It's not a net positive in really any sort of aspect to have all of them, as opposed to like if you have a whole CNC deck. That's
like I've made more money playing CNC than I've made selling any cards.
yeah.
I mean net.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
definitely more money selling cards, but as far as seeing like
No,
card
no.
based off of entries, I've definitely gained more.
Exactly. No, I know exactly what you're saying. And for someone to get new people in to want to play the game, and for there being so many different collectibles, like that's one thing that maybe wasn't necessarily the best, is having the super stickers and the wizard packs, because that was like two totally just like national. It was cool because it was national exclusive. Like I get the hype of wanting to, like, if you're there you get to collect them, but after the national the hype goes down, card sales go down. Like it's not really a net positive, and it's also not a part of the ecosystem, like you're saying.
I made the mistake here. I bought the last day of the national this card. Probably the worst purchase I've made so far.
Yeah.
Talk about buying Bitcoin at 65, 70K. This was me right here. Like some bitch. But anyhow, Currie, thank you again for coming on, shooting the shit with me about collectibles, about strategy, about gameplay, and obviously build that deck, man. Keep going.
Absolutely.
And you guys
Absolutely.
build the decks. Stay strong, everybody. Take care. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah. It was so much fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll have to run it back.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna probably maybe try and maybe sell some of these, but then just build my deck back stronger, and
That's
keep
it.
it moving.
Yeah, like I said, I'm after a few cards right now, and I think in the next couple months I'll end up getting it. I think that there's been some rumblings about a CNC tournament at the Nationals, so maybe community driven, not through Veefriends, but community driven.
I think I saw that you were maybe wanting to help out, and
Definitely.
if you get into that and need any help, I'll be at the National, and if you need any help,
I think it would be a good collective effort for us all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because last year at the National, it was cool. There was 52 people. I was really wanting to play, but I didn't get like the invitation, which was fine. But it was very cool that there was a tournament put on by Veefriends last year, and I think if it will just keep expanding, more and more people will be collecting, and the National is huge to get new people in.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do another one. That would be really cool. Second annual at the National, maybe our thing that we do, just a card community inside of Veefriends. Maybe.
Yeah, be cool.
Hey, I know you're listening. There. Do it. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you as well. See ya.
Bye.